Hello everyone, it's Dre from Dre in the Kitchen and I'm back. So it's been a little while since we've done some of these videos. We're finally in our new home. As you can see, the kitchen is set up beautifully and I'll do a tour. My sister was just here and let's just say she organized my life. So super grateful for that. So what are we gonna do today? I'm in the mood for something. I haven't had chicken in a while, so I bought some chicken thighs, bone-in chicken thighs. You can use boneless if you want. It's entirely up to you. I took them out, I patted them dry, I trimmed some of the fat off. I want the fat on because we're gonna make very crispy skin. And then I thought about doing a one-pot meal and I'm gonna put it into sort of a little spicy cream sauce. So I have a blend here of little baby Swiss chard, some spinach, some arugula, because I like the variety. You can buy them pre-washed, pre-soaked. Just have some garlic cloves, regular salt and pepper. Now I ground my pepper a little bit ahead of time because I use a lot of it, but of course if you have your trusty pepper mill, feel free. I'm going to use a non-stick skillet. You can either use a non-stick, normally I do them in a cast iron, but today I'm just going to use the non-stick. We're going to have an induction cooktop, so let's get started. Let me show you what else. So here's my induction cooktop. It's not on. I just took one of my dish rags because what I'm going to do is we're going to season our chicken. So like I said, it's at room temperature and I patted it dry. I also have a set of tongs so that way I don't have to touch the chicken. We're going to use avocado oil to fry it because it has a very high smoke point. I do not recommend extra virgin olive oil. You can if you want, depending on what you're going to do, but for what I'm doing, we're going to use the avocado. So I'm using Diamond Kosher salt, and we're going to season both sides liberally. This will draw out a little bit of the moisture. If you let it sit, let's say for like 10-15 minutes before you start to fry, you'll notice that a lot of the liquid comes off the skin, but we're gonna fry this little bad boy and it's gonna be absolutely delicious. You can omit pepper if pepper is not your thing. I do have some folks that do not like pepper. So again, it's your choice. You decide what you wanna do. I, of course, love a peppercorn blend. It's black, white, green, and I have pink peppercorns in here. Of course, we must season liberally on both sides. This is one of the best and most rewarding things. So when you season, make sure you do it from above. I know a lot of people have seen other chefs out there who do it from way up high. It doesn't necessarily, because the whole point of it is that you want it to get all over the surface. And I love Diamond Kosher because Diamond Kosher is not very salty, if that makes sense to you. So now we move this to the side, remove my trusted, and let's get cooking. So for your induction cooktop to work, I use a stainless steel bottom. So we're gonna put this on menu, and you'll hear a little bit of a sound. That's it turning on. I'm putting it up to the power of 8. And this will warm up in about a good, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It'll get very hot very quickly, everyone. To this, we're gonna add about, I'm gonna say a quarter of a cup of avocado oil, just enough to coat the bottom of your skillet. I'm not putting a lot because you're gonna render out some of the fat that's contained in the chicken. All right, so that should be nice and hot. We'll give it a couple of seconds. And let's go. As soon as you start to hear the sizzle, you're in good shape. There we go. Now these thighs are quite large, which is why this is a 9-inch non-stick. If you have a 10 or 12-inch, by all means, feel free to use it. Put that to the side. And we're gonna let this cook. I'm gonna raise it up to about 9 for about 15 minutes per side, depending on the size of your thigh. So we're gonna cook this for 15 minutes. It'll brown beautifully, and then we'll be back and I'll show you how it's gonna look. Take a look at how delicious these are looking. So I did flip them over, 15 minutes on one side, 15 minutes on the other. These are super, super thick, so I'm gonna flip them one more time and give them about another 6 minutes. I'll take the internal temperature. All right, so they've completely cooked. We checked their temp. They're beautiful and fully, look at this gorgeousness. Fully crisp, about 15 minutes per side. And I'm gonna take these out of the oil. I have just some paper towel here on the side. We're gonna let these sit. I'm gonna clean out the pan and get ready to make our delicious cream sauce, and we're gonna put it all together. So now comes the part where we put it all together. So I did bring out a different saucepan. Again, also stainless steel. So what do we have here? This is that Swiss chard, baby spinach, arugula. I did bring out a little bit of unsalted butter. I have 4 cloves of garlic that I just chopped up. And then I took a look in my fridge. I had a couple of tomatoes, so I figured let's use them before they go bad. A little extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper to taste. Of course, my favorite thing in the whole world are the Calabrian chilies, and they're gonna go in there. So let's get started. We're gonna heat up this pan. Because it's an induction, I have it at a 5, and that'll be just enough to get everything going. And then what I tend to do is I always have, so in my restaurant days, we always had spoons, not in here, it would probably be a plastic container, but literally dozens and dozens of spoons because we taste everything. You taste as you go so you can adjust your seasoning. So to this pan, I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. I did not save the chicken fat. You can use some of that chicken fat if you prefer. It's entirely up to you. I just didn't want it because I want some clean flavors in here. We're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I buy the butter in bricks, so then I just cut them into chunks and put them in my little containers. Again, another trick we did in the restaurant days, but those habits just pretty much stick with you the entire time. So as this melts, I'm gonna go ahead and add my garlic because I want it to start browning, and you just want it to be fragrant. You don't necessarily want it to burn. You just want all the beautiful essence of the garlic to be within the sauce. So we're gonna let that go for probably about a minute. Right before we're gonna add our greens, then, our heavy cream. Most important to have heavy cream. This cream is 36% fat, which is absolutely delicious. Sometimes I get the 42%. I buy this at Restaurant Depot. If you're a member, you can get it, and it's absolutely fabulous. And of course, Parmigiano Reggiano, use the real stuff. Now, you can use the American, it's okay, but it doesn't have the same flavor. In go our greens. This goes into our sink. Let that wilt. Of course, remember, whenever you put greens, they're gonna wilt into almost nothing. We have not added any salt or pepper, so let's go ahead and do that now. Just gonna use our pepper mill for some freshly ground black pepper. So this is a peppercorn melange, but I kind of added a few extra, so it's white, black, green peppercorns, and then I add pink peppercorns for the beautiful floral notes. I'm gonna add a dash of kosher salt. Again, you can adjust your seasonings later. Have this cook. I wish you guys could smell this because it smells absolutely amazing. Listen, anything with extra virgin olive oil and garlic, I'm sold. To this, we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Okay, make that about a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Bring this together. Let that bubble up just a little bit. To this, I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese. I like to grate mine as needed. I do not buy the pre-packaged stuff. I like to just cut it up into chunks, freeze the pieces that I don't use, and then there's always, trust me, these rinds are delicious when you use them in like a homemade sauce or something of that nature. Not too much cheese because this adds a lot of salt. Let's just mix this all together. We want this to bubble up and kind of reduce by like a 1/3 before I add in the Calabrian. Actually, we can put in the Calabrian chilies now. Of course, another clean spoon. I always keep spoons handy. Now, Calabrian chilies, for those of you who have not used them, they're called a sweet heat. So what does that mean? Once you get the flavor profile, they add these gorgeous floral notes into the food. And it adds this gorgeous, gorgeous red color. Now, I love this sauce in particular to be a little on the spicy side. So because it's Calabrian chilies, you're gonna notice a little red or pink hue that comes out. So it's a mellow, if you've never tried them, I highly recommend them. I buy them on Amazon. And it is absolutely divine. To this, because I had those tomatoes, guess what? The tomatoes are going in. I don't believe in wasting food. We always use it until the last moment. Let this sit together. And I'm gonna taste and see how we need to adjust seasonings if need be. If it needs a little salt, if it needs a little pepper. Needs a little bit of salt. That's good enough. A little over the shoulder for good luck. And this is it. This is the delicious cream sauce that I do. Now the tomatoes, as they cook in here, they're gonna fall apart. The skins are gonna tear and they're gonna become extremely juicy and amazing. So we do put the chicken back in, but we leave the skin side up so that we never turn the skin over and it'll remain nice and crispy. So I originally got this idea from watching Ina Garten do her mustard chicken. But I know a lot of folks, a lot of my friends anyway, are not huge fans of mustard. So I was like, usually I do this with mushrooms. If I had mushrooms, I would probably use my shiitakes because I love the meatiness of the mushrooms. To the side like those. And we're literally just gonna let this, we're not gonna put the sauce over the skin because I want the skin to retain its beautiful crispiness. But you're gonna let this cook together on low, about medium low, for about a good 5 to 10 minutes, and then you are completely done. You can serve this with a side of pasta, you can serve this with a side of rice if you prefer. I probably am gonna I have pickled cauliflower, so I'll have that on the side. You can do a side salad, you could have a piece of crusty bread, depending if that's your thing. But the whole point is that once you learn the basics of how to cook the fried chicken, which again, thank you, Ina Garten, then you can do whatever kind of sauce you like. And this, to me, is absolutely fabulous. So I'll come back and show you the final dish, plated, and then we'll go from there. All right, everyone, so we put it all together. I kind of cleaned up a little bit in the background, but this is our final dish. It is I wish you could smell this. So let's go ahead. I have a fork and knife. We're gonna taste this together. Because I'm not gonna lie, I snuck off a little piece of the chicken fat because it's fried, it's crispy, it is absolutely divine. So let's taste it. I'm gonna go ahead, I cut a little piece, I'm gonna put a little sauce, I'm gonna put a little bit of the greens. You hear that crunch? I think we need a second bite, hold on a second. Just to be safe. A little quality control before I let anybody taste this. Oh my goodness. I promise you, you're gonna love this. So when you make it, be sure to come back, drop it in the comments and tell me how you enjoyed it. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. Share this video to some folks. This is just what we do. Me. And I haven't even had wine. But I love this. Stay tuned. We're going to start releasing videos every single week. Thank you for following me. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for just inspiring Dre in the Kitchen to go to new heights. 2022 is going to be absolutely spectacular. I love you guys, and I will talk to you very, very soon. And my dogs behaved. Can you actually believe it? Bye.